This is the story of your enslavement to Stefan Molyneux, the ranting libertarian internet fucktard who was cloned from Dr. Evil of the Austin Powers movies. How you came to be his snivelling cuck, and how you can finally be free of his pretentious voice and ridiculously long pauses. This was the start of the greatest tragedy of your life, a destructive path to hateful oblivion with delusions of white genocide that you, his brainwashed little sub, have been led down on a choking leash. You're a good little doggy, aren't you? Like all money-grubbing, egotistical monsters, Stefan Molyneux wants to dominate and exploit all of humanity to try and fill the empty void in his battered little boy hole. But nothing you ever do will be enough. Nothing. Even if you devote yourself 100%, you mean less to him than a clucking battery hen, power queefing out little pellets for him to steal from you. The greatest resource for Stefan Molyneux to control is not natural resources, or tools, or animals, or land, or low IQ Puerto Ricans. It's you. Yes, you. He has preached freedom to you while stealing it from under your stubby little piggy nose. Oink, oink. Stefan Molyneux is a false prophet, a beta sheep wearing an alpha wolf mask, a one-eyed man in the kingdom of the blind internet trolls, a tin pot YouTube bully dictator who has reprogrammed your brain so that only he can drip, drip, drip feed you tiny amounts of dopamine. He promises more, if only you give him more money and devote even more time to his endless drivel on subjects about which he knows almost nothing. Stefan Molyneux is a great philosopher in the same way that Harvey Weinstein is a charming ladies' man. In fact, worse, because you'll only be winning Razzies rather than Oscars. Goodwill humping a watermelon rather than Shakespeare-in-loving Gwyneth Goop. How has he made your already rather privileged life any better with his childish fantasies of telling all the authority figures in your life to go fuck themselves? You have worse daddy issues than Chandler Bing from Friends, while also being more pitiful than 50-year-old Matthew Perry. Yes, you're a trans-dimensional cucking schlub, able to break the fourth wall in a single little adorable rant about how all the minorities took away your slave owner beating sticks. Are you beginning to see the nature of the cage that you have trapped yourself in for Stefan Molyneux's psychopathetic willy jollies? Take a step back from your pseudo-philosophical cult. A cage of illogical distortions destroying your true potential. You and your fellow Stefan Molyneux kneeling sucker cucks cannot be rationally understood until you are seen for what you really are. A battery farm of cognitively retarded keyboard warrior sheep, owned by absent herder Stefan Molyneux. He is leading you, his little baby-brained lambs, to slaughter, brainwashed and completely unable to thrive in a society that demands cognitive excellence and ideological flexibility. A goat-teethed Islamic State repressed gay executioner has a better chance of reintegrating with civilization than you do. No doubt you get confused because Stefan Molyneux provides you with lots of content. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of empty, unsatisfying, pseudo-intellectual bullshit junk food videos and podcasts that rival the MTV show Just Tattoo of Us for academic rigor and cultural importance. In one episode, a guy got himself tattooed on his friend's belly, bent over with his navel as the asshole. That is a more deeply profound statement about the human condition than anything Stefan has ever done or will ever do. Do you really believe there is some benevolence to Stefan's inane drivel that isn't just self-hating, racist, misogynistic, and despotic big black penis envy? Do you truly believe he is helping you to lead a better life? I'm so sorry, little man-child, but nothing could be further from the reality. Stefan Molyneux's delusions for a future, better society, free of all his manufactured, darker-skinned, welfare-dependent evils will never happen. He will never deliver for you. Never. He has stripped you of your dignity, laughed at your impotence, and deluded you into believing that only he knows what the true purpose of humanity is. Do you really believe that only you, his small community of narrow-minded, racially pure, cognitively vacuous sycophants will be able to bring forth a new age of enlightenment and freedom? It's a tantalizing fantasy, sure, but Hitler's micropenis had a better chance, and it's now in a jar for all to point and laugh at. Stefan Molyneux makes you believe that you're truly part of his league of extraordinary white gentlemen, a superior race that all others must bow down to, so that we all can be free. Or maybe you've just lost a little bit of the privilege you never deserved in the first place, and your muff is a little miffed about being treated more equally. Yet another angry white boy. Instead of actually trying a little harder on a more even playing field, you give up and feed off the grumbling rant monster, further exacerbating your anger and annihilating your chances of a fulfilling life where you are the master of your own destiny. How about finding a purpose to your life that doesn't obsess over blaming others and claiming that your imaginary rights have been stolen by the cursed dark bogeymen, the neighboring tribe of monkeys who want your bananas? Ooga booga, right? How about finding a purpose to your life that enriches all of humanity, rather than tears it all down and anoints only a few scared little white boys. Stefan's youth, a slave race, all marching to the same step, dehumanizing all who oppose them. How about realizing how far we've come? How much we take for granted that we're not all coughing up tuberculosis lung while simultaneously being penetrated by a giant Neanderthal black bear with a poorer understanding of consent than Dr. Cliff Huxtable's favourite speculum. You don't need to pledge allegiance to a leader with the verbal aptitude of a sofa and serial killer good looks. You'd be better donating your money to a starving cam girl with a history of girl-on-girl sexy violence like Ricky Jay, or an aspiring no-hoper snooty stand-up comedian like Tom Cassidy. They really could do with your help. I get it. It's not your fault. You avoid the horror of your enslavement to Stefan Molyneux with all your tidy-whitey might because it is so painful to see it directly. You dance around the endless psychological violence of Stefan Molyneux's slowly but surely dying system because you fear the attacks of your fellow cult member livestock, and most of all, from your pure white bowling ball goat herder daddy substitute. In reality, Stefan Molyneux has massive disdain for his followers. You should hear what he says about you behind your back when the cameras aren't on and his narcissistic charm mask and verbal assault rifles are uncucked. He hates you all, despises you for being so damn stupid and falling into his trap of replacing a pretty roomy and comfortable soft-shelled crab cage with a far worse one, a ball-crushing chastity belt, giving you an insecure, angry, screeching voice with less leadership potential than Pauly Shore, reminiscing about the good old days before everyone realized he had even less talent than you. But we can only be kept in the cages we refuse to see. Wake up to a new story, a morning glory. Revitalize your sexual potential. Work on this, and there's a good chance of you finding erotic nirvana without Stefan Molyneux creepily watching your every clumsy thrust. Keep working on it, and you'll become an irresistible pleasure machine in no time. To see Stefan for who he truly is to leave. Become your own master and walk your own path. If you really, really, really need a daddy substitute, then at least follow someone who accepts that the status quo isn't perfect, but is reasonably stable. Most of all, someone you can admire who doesn't have utter contempt for those who follow him. Author Yuval Noah Harari, or Skullfucker from Man Brain Podcast, will certainly be more constructive to you, actually doing something useful with your life rather than being less coherent than Charlie Sheen on bacterial vaginosis Taco Tuesdays. Go on. You can do it, little fella. Only your mind locks you in your cage. Open the door and step out into your new life with you as your own master. A little scary, isn't it? Become your own daddy dom and spank yourself with a breadboard harder than a cam girl begging for tips the night before payday. What are you going to do now that you've become de-cuckified? Rah!